I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have the secretary perform roll call attendance, please.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Here. Here.
Here. Okay. All right, all the board members should have received the minutes from the November 3rd meeting. There's no
Make a motion to
comments.
accept.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's made, seconded, all in favor? Aye. All right. Okay, so our first item on the agenda this evening is a public hearing for site plan and special use permit for Hudson Valley Volkswagen amended site plan. Entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So move it. Second.
Motion's made, seconded, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Good evening.
Mark Day, James Picosa, representing Hudson Valley Volkswagen. We're here tonight for a public hearing for the project, which involves the construction of a service area in the rear of the building. We're going to enclose the drive-through area for service, and we're also going to straighten the front end out. If you know the building, it's got a slight backward slant. They're going to square that up in the front. And our proposal is to fill the original stormwater basin to provide more parking in this area. So basically, that's really it. There's no other changes that we're proposing.
Okay. All right. All right, does any of the board members have any questions for the applicant?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. Any comments from staff or other than just,
We haven't generated a memo. We're, I think the applicant knows we're curious to see a couple of things, the missing elements from the wetland disturbance permit.
All right, we've been asking about this. We've been calling and we've been reaching out. We've got nothing, so I don't know how to resolve this issue.
Okay, so section of the code that deals with the required elements for the application is 137, right? 137.7, I believe. That'll walk you through what elements we need. In particular, that's going to be a narrative describing the nature of the work as it relates to the wetlands, a wetland report, a wetland analysis report that includes a description and analysis of the functions of the wetland, and the impacts and mitigation measures proposed. So,
Okay, we'll take care of it.
yeah.
all right. Nothing.
And then also, you mentioned a code compliant plan that you had shown the ZBA.
Yes.
If you could include that in your next submission, we'll be able to review that and advise the board.
Okay.
I'm just curious we have submitted that to be,
I was supposed to send that to you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
we did submit it
Okay.
for the zoning board.
We'll get it through B, just
Okay.
make sure, when you,
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
But we've asked for a variance and received it, so I'm not sure what it would do.
Did they vote on the variance? I thought that they were not able to vote on that
They did
variance
vote
until.
on it, but they were going to re-vote once seeker was closed.
Okay, so the variance has not been granted yet.
Right, no,
until
no,
seeker is
that
concluded.
wasn't-
That's what you're saying.
Sorry?
Yeah.
the variance has not been approved and cannot be approved until seeker is concluded, correct?
Right, but the code compliant plan was an issue with
Yeah.
the ZBA, correct?
Yes. But the
Yeah,
planning
but
board
the
would also
memo
like
came
to see
from us.
Okay,
It was just a paper trail. The ZBA sent a memo to us, then we had the secretary contact you, and then instead of it working in reverse to go back, it just went directly to ZBA. And we just need a copy of that, but if you can get that, then they'll take care of that.
so do you need me to submit that? Okay.
All right, so then I'll take care of that issue. So we'll be okay there. All right, that's all I think we have, right, at this point? Christian, everything's good on your end?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, let's open the floor to public comment. Is there anybody here from the public that wishes to comment on this application? Okay, seeing none. I mean, basically, I don't know if there's any need to keep the public hearing open at this point, correct?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
No, I mean, there's no default approval for this, correct? That only applies to subdivisions?
Yes. Right.
Yeah, okay. All right, so the motion's been to close the public hearing. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
You have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay. All right, so I guess at this point, I think it's just following up with all the other information, and then we can move forward from there.
Okay, I don't believe we've gotten any comments.
The-
We haven't gotten any comments from the consultants that I'm aware of.
I don't think, we didn't receive a new submission in advance of this meeting. The last comments that I gave was asking for a complete wetland disturbance permit. And I don't think we've seen, I have not received a new submission for this application since you went to the ZBA, so.
Okay.
Okay. So technically, all that you're waiting for is just the wetland disturbance permit to finish the review on that?
Okay.
Okay.
I think that we had, I mean, you can double check that last,
Do you remember what date that was?
let me pull that up.
It's the same with our comments also. We haven't received anything new since our last comment letter. We only had a couple small things,
Okay.
so, let me see.
So it would be the last one we got from you?
Exactly.
I think it's, mine, I believe is August 29th.
I'm sure ours is the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think yours was September 3rd, Krishna.
Yours was the end, yeah, that makes sense, a few days after. He's usually a few days ahead of me.
It's not a competition.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate it. Do we resubmit to get on for the next agenda? December,
Yeah.
okay.
Take a look. There are a couple other items on our comment memo that you may have addressed already, you may not have, but if you're going to put together a new submission and bring it to us with the wetland disturbance permit, just make sure that you get as many of those as you can.
Yeah, I think we did submit, or did fill out a wetlands permit. I know it was submitted.
Yeah, the permit form was submitted, but the required items under 137.
Okay.
.7, take a look at that.
Okay.
I think it includes a wetland report, a wetland functionality report, and a narrative description of your, the functionality of the wetlands, the proposed disturbance, and any mitigation measures proposed.
Okay. We can do that.
Okay. All right. So we're pretty much, all right, so pretty much done with that one at this point. We closed the public hearing on that. All right. So now to the next item on the agenda. which is the O'Donnell Wheeler Hill Road Lot Line Realignment. It's a public hearing. Entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
Make that motion.
Second. Okay, motion made, seconded, all in favor? Aye. All right.
Good evening, Mark Cosa, representing Craig O'Donnell. What we're proposing this evening is to do a lot line realignment
Microphone.
Oh, my God.
between the existing lot and the lot owned adjacent to it, which is also owned by Mr. O'Donnell.
Okay. All right, just the purpose is just to make it a buildable
Correct, sorry.
lot at this point. Okay. All right. I don't think there's any comments. I think everything was addressed at the last meeting. So I'll open the floor for public comment. Is there anyone here this evening that wishes to make comment?
Hi, I'm Marcy Wagman. I live at Old Troy Road. And while it is my understanding of the current owner's intention that the approximate 3-acre lot will remain as a buffer, it is clear the intention of this change to the lot line, as you just said, is to make it a buildable lot. It is also my understanding that any planning board conditions that would be placed on this request would stay with the property. That is, any future owners would need to abide by these conditions placed on the lot line change potentially approved by this board. These two properties are in the heart of a very special place in the town of Wappinger. In the early 1990s, Mrs. Reese commissioned the work of Elise Barry, an architect who did extensive cataloging of not only the homes and structures along Wheeler Hill and Old Troy Roads, which included Ober Creek and Conworth Farms, but of the landscapes and the estate holdings of the properties, showing the influence and contributions of important gardens and landscape designers such as Andrew Jackson Downey. This led to the U.S. Department of Interior in 1991 to designate the area as the Wheeler Hill Historic District, based on her identification of the 68 contributing resources in the area. And if you're interested, this is the study that she did. Also, in the early 1990s, as a result of the Hudson River Greenway, the town marked this area as part of the Hudson River Greenway Trail System and indicates its pride of being part of the Greenway system on town signs. So the potential of significantly changing the buildings and landscape of these two properties, and I understand the current owner has respected these designations in the building of his current home. For example, the use of exterior materials which are sympathetic to the architectural elements as noted in the study. I would like the board to consider conditions placed on any future buildings and landscape elements to ensure that the integrity of the elements noted in the study are kept. These could include ensuring that the majority of the landscape materials used in any plantings include native species and materials, follow the design precepts of historic landscapes, that the architectural elements and exterior materials are sympathetic to the designs documented in the historical designation application, and block any further subdivisions of these properties. As we've seen in other communities very close to the Wheeler Hill Historic District, our history and community can be significantly changed with ill-planned and ill-designed projects that are out of scale and inconsistent with the neighboring properties, which degrade the surrounding properties and the community's enjoyment of these areas. So please ensure that the foresight and the work of Mrs. Reese, Mrs. Fumarello, and Clara Sauer, who's the former executive director of Scenic Hudson, who led the Greenway project, are not in vain. Thanks for your attention.
Thanks. Okay, thank you. All right.
Hi, good evening. My name is Katie Glimbotsky. I live at 647 Wheeler Hill Road, town of Wappingers. And I prepared a little statement, and I hope I'm not too long with this, okay? So great effort was spent to preserve and support the natural beauty of our town and prevent overdevelopment by the late Franny Reese and Helen Fumarello, a former deputy town supervisor and public servant. Both worked tirelessly to establish R80 zoning throughout the town, including the area in question this evening. In case you're not familiar with Mrs. Reese, I don't know if you are or not. Most of you are, right? She led the charge against Con Ed, protected the Hudson Highlands, protected Storm King Mountain. She's influenced national legislation for environmental studies, everything. I mean, she was great. So anyway, but thanks to the dedication of these two women, Wheeler Hill Road and a few that are left in the town recall slower paced time, something a little gentler, something more appreciative of the natural world and its beauty, okay? And we want to preserve that on Wheeler Hill Road. So I'm asking for the board to kindly pause and consider the possibility of what has yet to be revealed concerning this property and the 10.2 acres adjoining it, because it's a unique situation. The area is designated as a historic district, and one would imagine with implied guidelines for landscape preservation. It should, but does it? And does the town of Wappingers care enough about land preservation and scenic views for all to enjoy, even if it's fleeting? Quite frankly, and more pragmatically, what's the point of having 2-acre zoning if a builder purchases property in a certain area and requests and receives variances or lot line changes to suit his needs? And this isn't the first time, okay? Because Mr. O'Donnell did this on the existing lot that he lives on right now, okay? So this is the second time on Wheeler Hill Road that we're facing the same thing. Anyway, the applicant, they're real estate developers, O'Donnell Family LTD, and we've been here before, as I just said. So a few weeks ago, he submitted a request to tap into the water main on the west side of the road with the other two properties. Okay, so that ensures the intention to build if you're tapping into a water line on an empty lot, right? So I think tonight's request clearly states it is a building lot, and the impact of 2 and maybe 3 potential houses lessens the potential of a singular buyer to purchase that 10.2 lot to the south and invites further development with no true limitations on what can be built. And I don't think I'm being unrealistic, because I come from a family of realtors, and I'm not naive to the lure of a good piece of property. Okay? Just saying.
But the application is just for one lot. It's to realign it.
I know it is for one lot. I know it is.
It's just, okay. And
I know
the
it is.
question regarding the acreage, I mean, this is a conforming lot,
I believe
correct?
by 10.2, she's referring to one of the
The
two
neighboring
lots
lot.
in question.
He has a lot, the narrow lot that he's looking to widen just at the front, right, to get the road frontage.
Right.
Okay, so he has the lot to the north. Okay, that's
Yep.
1.4 acres, 1.5 acres.
Right.
Another undersized lot. Okay, he has requested to tap into the water main on that lot and the one to the south. So that to me clearly says I'm building, or I have intention to build, because there's nothing on those lots. Why
Right.
do you need to tap into the main?
Okay, but if it's a conforming lot, he's allowed to build.
Well,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, so that's, I mean,
I
we're
understand.
only, and to be honest, tonight, we're only here to talk about the lot line realignment, not about the construction.
Okay, well, what I am saying is that I think that there needs to be more forward vision,
Right.
because I don't think that it's unrealistic to think that those properties will be further subdivided if they can't be sold as one big parcel, and we're going to see
Right.
5 or 6 or 7 additional houses on Wheeler Hill Road in that particular area. He owns all of it.
But I understand that, but that's not,
I know.
that's not the purpose of what we're here for tonight.
I understand.
We're here for to realign the lot because he wants to put more property onto the other lot.
He wants to be able to build onto that.
Okay, yeah, so if he does want to
It clearly
build.
states it for a building lot. That's what it
Correct.
says.
Yep,
So that's what it says.
right,
That's a building lot.
correct.
I'm not being
Right, so if he's,
disrespectful.
but we have no control over it. All we're doing is talking about the property, the realignment.
And what I'm asking is that the planning board take a step back and just try to see what may happen if he does build on those lots, on that lot. I don't think that anybody that's going to buy a 10-acre lot wants to have a next-door neighbor.
Right, but the issue at hand is that there's nothing in the zoning code that requires us to look at that. To look for, unless there's something specific in the historic district that says that you can't do these things. But if he owns both pieces of property and he wants to take some property from one property to another, he can do that. Correct?
Yes, I
Okay.
agree.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. We'll ask you a question.
I'm just curious where the third lot is that you guys are speaking about.
The
There
third
is
lot
no
is at
third lot.
640 Wheeler Hill.
Oh, no, she's talking about the lot. If you look at the map, that one there. But that's not, but that's,
We're talking
right, but that has nothing to do with this
The whole
application.
area from
It's right
Old
here is
Troy
what we're talking
Road,
about.
halfway
Yeah.
down Wheeler
Yeah.
Hill Road now.
So right here, currently, he has enough land to build without the lot line adjustment?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't, and this would
No,
give him
because
enough.
the current lot is too narrow.
So,
To be clear, the lot
let me
is,
just finish my thoughts. Just because this is the way I have to understand this, I'm sorry.
Yep.
So, once he gets that lot line adjustment, he has enough to build on that lot right there, right?
Yes.
And this is already done, the 10 acre.
That already has a house on
So
it.
what I'm trying to understand from her is she's concerned that there would be additional subdivision after. That's what I'm hearing.
I am concerned. I'm very
I'm just trying to
concerned
understand where
about
that
it.
is that might happen, that's all.
Well, I'm assuming it could only happen on that one lot where the existing house is,
yeah.
Copy.
one to the south.
So,
Correct.
so then he would need to build, she's thinking he might build another lot or subdivide this again for an additional
I
house.
think he
Correct.
could.
He would have
And
to-
I think,
yeah.
and I think he will be here to ask if he can do that.
Yeah.
He's a builder, he's a developer, you know.
Correct, but we can't, but we don't know that that's what he's looking to do.
You know, I know
The only
that-
thing
I
that we
know
can
that.
look at is the one thing that's in front of us right now, which is the realignment, moving the line to
Okay.
put more with the other property.
Go
ahead.
I appreciate that, the regulations today, before us today is just the subdivision. Question I have for the board and the consultants here is, with this historic district designation, was there any, I have a couple of questions, was there any mention there of how future development would be regulated being within the historic district? The second is, in the town, are there any historic districts that have guidelines for how future development would take place? I know many other municipalities do this, and while we couldn't do this here tonight, my question is whether, either as the planning board or as an assignment for the consultants, and get advice from council, take a look at what could be done here to provide guidelines for future development in this important historic district.
I think I was on the same page as where you are, because you can't stop maybe this, but are there guidelines or regulations or something written that says if there are to build there, that we conform to that look and feel of the buildings that are around?
Potentially guidelines, if there's a mechanism for getting them adopted, it might even affect this particular subdivision.
Especially if it's in the
If they haven't
greenway.
got to the ground yet. So I think there's a lot here, and, with the planning board and the consultants, that we take this up and about how we might address this important issue.
So what it
I
is,
wish you would, because it's a huge amount of property, and it's to have that amount of new housing would be incredibly disruptive, excuse me, to the quality that road possesses. And I mean, I think you've all been down Wheeler Hill Road. It's a beautiful ride, right?
I did notice, I just drove down there yesterday to go to Carmouth, and I noticed one of the houses around you, is it this house? They cleared out a lot of that front property?
Yeah.
Is
that's
that
the
this house,
property.
the one we're
Well,
talking about?
he just cleared that out about a month ago.
And then there's another one that's across the street. Was that a new
Right,
build? Or is that also remodeled?
663, no, that's a remodel with an addition, and I believe he's involved in that also.
So when
So
with
to
the
me, this
remodels-
looks like a subdivision going on in the neighborhood, albeit not a straightforward subdivision, but the potential for one is there, and that is not what is in the town code. And I think it needs to be thought about.
I'm also thinking a future code amendment could look at zoning within this historic district and perhaps recommend guidelines or even specific code rules for how this area gets developed. I'm not sure that you could limit the number of houses per acre, given under
Well,
zoning.
it should be,
But I think it's something we all have to look at.
2-acre zoning. It's 2-acre zoning.
they'll have to stay
like
that, yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean, the lot that he's looking to enlarge in the front is over 3 acres. He just doesn't have the road frontage, and he wants the road frontage so he can build on it. That's what that's about.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yeah.
and the road frontage that he's gaining would still leave him enough with the distance between the driveway and the property line
Yeah,
of the original house?
And then he has another, to the north, another lot.
The one at the corner is 1.7 acres.
Right, and
It does not meet.
he's asking for a hookup on that, and that was subdivided legally about 12 years ago.
That's interesting. I mean, unless he enlarges that, it won't meet minimum lot size.
No, he was guaranteed that he would be able to build on that, because we had these same discussions then.
So is
I'm
the-
just asking you to please just
Yeah, well, I mean, that's,
widen
yeah.
the view about this, that's all. And I appreciate it if you do. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak?
Marcy, do you have another copy of yours? You got one? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to get copies of all them.
Historic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Show me where the landscape special permits. I think they're taking it.
All right. So with that, is there anyone else, no one else wishes to speak? So at this point, what's the board's, what does the board wish to do in regard to public hearing?
I think we should
Do you want
adjourn it.
to adjourn it to a future date?
Adjourn it, and I'd like to
Okay.
know more about the historical and the greenway and what that entails and what it could entail and what, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Find that stuff out.
I'm just curious why we're adjourning it? Why are we adjourning it?
We're adjourning it to we need to do a little more research into the historic district and any of the requirements. We don't have Barbara here this evening, because I think she's got a little more insight into that. I be honest with you, I don't remember ever having an application in that area before. So, I mean, I know, based upon what's there, I don't see an issue. I mean, if he owns the property, legally he can do what he's looking to do, but I think everybody's concern right now is how the historic district comes into play.
Yeah, I haven't.
I think if we close the public
adjourn it.
hearing, I think we might. I'll refer that to our attorney. you agree?
That's the board's inclination, is to take a look into that. I mean, it makes more sense to just to adjourn the public hearing out till next month, let us get a chance to look at that. It might affect also what other comments might be out there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the question comes in is when we're going to adjourn, when do we want to adjourn this to? I think we want to do this for next meeting, or is it going to get adjourned out until January?
I think we need a little more time to dig into
A little more time than December 1st? Okay. Dave, could you give me the first date in January?
Well, we have January 5th or the 21st.
5th to the 21st? All right. Board want to put it out to the 5th?
Yeah.
Okay, is that okay with you, Mark?
Yeah.
The 5th good?
Yep.
Okay. Entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing to January the 5th.
So moved. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Mark,
All right.
on that last one, I just want to mention that I did speak to the highway superintendent about the driveway location and the road dedication area, and he was all good with it. So that was one of our comments, so that's been addressed.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so moving on, we'll go to the next public hearing for the evening, which is O'Donnell Myers Corners Road subdivision. And again, I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made, seconded. All in favor? Aye. So,
Good evening. This application is basically a two-lot split proposed on Myers Corners Road. I think at the last meeting, we discussed that the applicant is looking at using a combined entrance. He met Mr. Tripolo out there. It was one of his suggestions that we do this. I know the board had asked us to look at alternatives, which we will do. But other than that, that's really it. I mean, there are no other changes based on that.
okay.
I would also say if you can get just like email confirmation, something in writing about the conversation that you just referenced, so that we can add that to the record, I'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I think that's pretty much what we had, right, was with that one? So I'll go ahead and let's open the floor for public comment. Is there anybody that wishes to speak on behalf of this application? Okay, seeing none.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, motion's been made. Do we have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right. So with that, I think the outstanding comments we have are pretty much minimal at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there are
It's just, I mean, obviously it's the driveway issue, but it's,
driveway easements, maintenance agreements. I'd like to get, as I just mentioned, something on the record about the recommendation from the county to move forward with the shared driveway and the conceptual plan that individual access can be achieved if future property owners seek to do so.
if in the future they wish to have their own. Okay.
But I think that's it. The only, add the note to the plan about the tree clearing window.
Okay.
And I think that's it. I'll double check, but my comments were minor, and as long as you take care of it for the final plans.
Okay, so there's nothing, all right, Christian, there's nothing major, right?
No, just, they're all technical comments, so.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Did you
So,
have an issue with our comments?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So entertain, I guess at this point, we could entertain a motion to have the planner draft a resolution of approval.
I'll make that motion.
Did you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that you closed the public hearing first.
Yeah, didn't we just do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we did, all right.
I was repeating Kyle's.
Okay. That's,
He's scaring me.
Just paying attention.
all right. So, so we authorize the planner to draft the resolution. That was motion by,
I made the motion.
okay, Paul seconded, all right. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Okay. Okay, our next item on the agenda this evening is discussion regarding the Sitco amended site plan. See the applicants here this evening.
Good evening, everyone. James Lee here for the applicant.
How you doing? Okay, so tonight we basically, I don't think there's much to discuss tonight. We do, at this point, after reviewing all the records, it appears we're still waiting for comments from Dutchess County Planning. So I guess the comments they had made, they were looking for a revised plan to be sent back, which I don't think was ever sent to them.
Complete submission.
A complete submission, yeah. So,
Okay, the last time we were here, we left off, we closed the public hearing, and it was my understanding that there was going to be a vote taking place tonight, but there were only
but
4 planning board members.
So the planner was unable to complete the draft resolution because of the comments that, the county hasn't provided their comments. So we're going to await Dutchess County Planning to provide us comments regarding the application, up to this point, and then at that point, we'll then make a vote after we've received those comments.
Okay, I'll advise
All right.
everyone on my side.
Okay. Other than that, I think that's pretty much all we have. I don't think there's still no changing your mind on any of this stuff, so alter the plan.
As I stated previously, based on our recommendations and review of professionals on our team, the engineer and the traffic consultant, what we believe the plan that was submitted before this board sufficiently addressed all the questions, but at this point, we do not, with no further directions on which way to go, we are left in basically no man's land. There's no vote, we can't make a left, we can't make a right, and we're at a standstill on our side. With the professionals' recommendation that what you have here works, the radius turns all work, so asking for just another set of plans is just it leaves you in a bad situation because the planning board refused to vote and approve what we believe is sufficient in terms of all zoning requirements and all radius turns by advice of council on our side,
we will be
go ahead
voting
and
on
file
this
the
in the
Article
future.
78.
And once we get the county's comments, and so we can make the record complete, and then once we've got those comments, we will then take a vote on the application.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening. Okay, our next item on the agenda this evening is discussion regarding Performance Auto amended site plan.
Good evening. Tonight, we're back with the application for performance on board. We're talking about strictly restriping the existing lot to accommodate a few more parking spaces. I know the board's looked at it. We've basically made whatever changes we are proposing.
Use the microphone, please.
We are proposing some landscaping on Route 9.
Okay. All right, so I guess during the workshop, we did have some discussions, just, I guess I think everybody's kind of still in the dark a little bit with what the previous approval was. I don't know if you have the copy of the previous approved plans.
We don't have it. We weren't, seems like no one has it. Yeah, we don't have a copy of it. The owner doesn't have a copy.
All right. In addition, I guess, too, is the special permit from the town board. Does anybody, did you have any of that either? Or
I
nothing?
never
Okay.
recovered any of that information.
All right, because I think our biggest holdup right now is, I mean, we discussed this earlier. I think there's some concerns just regarding what the previous approval is versus what we have on the site today. And I think that would help, understanding what the differences are, I think will help the rest of the board to, to be able to understand what we have in front of us. I know it's kind of hard without having, Barbara Roberti here to kind of explain it too, because I think there's been some issues that have taken place probably in the last 4 to 5 years on the site, and I think that's what's kind of driving this today. So we don't have her input here tonight. So
I don't know where to go to find the plan for this that was originally approved.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we have there's a few things that need to get worked out. I mean,
Yeah,
part of our discussion this morning, I mean, we might as well discuss what's on the memos now.
Yeah.
Of what we have, and then maybe we can, I think after tonight, I think there's there's got to be some, I think everybody's going to have to kind of dig in and try to find what they can.
Yeah.
Through the town and, the applicant, they'll have to come up with some information.
So, just based on the bulk table and the special permit requirements in your description, some of it seems to indicate that these things were part of a resolution or site plan approval in 2002, but that's difficult to verify because, we don't have those plans and you don't have those plans, and so whether or not that is true is difficult for this board to ascertain.
So why don't we start over?
Well, then that becomes a whole nother kettle of fish, right? Then we have to look at the elements of the bulk table and the elements of the special permit that are not being achieved, right? It seems like there were certain allowances made with the approval in 2002 about special permit requirements and lot area requirements.
Did you mean variances or?
So the bulk table says that the minimum lot area was part of a special permit granted by the town board in 2002. It's 1 acre, the zone requires 2-acre lots, and the special permit requires 3-acre lots. I don't know what the vehicles allowed on the site were in that agreement, whether or not those were specified in that resolution and on that site plan, but the 96 that you're requesting exceeds the 70 that you're permitted under the special permit. There are things like that.
Is that something that,
Same thing with minimum lot depth. You don't meet that requirement.
Right.
You're saying that that was part of a resolution in 2002, but you don't have that resolution.
well, would this resolution be somewhere recorded in minutes? Has anybody looked, or are we all just?
I mean, have you had conversations with Barbara about trying to track that down yet?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
So I think that is a really important place to start, following it up with her, because it's clear, I mean, you've looked for it.
Yeah.
On your end, you haven't been able to find it. We need to make a good faith effort on the town's end to try to identify this, because absent that, we're going to have a conversation about how to move forward with this application without the ability to verify any of these elements, because there are a lot of elements as far as the requirements of the special permit that this site, existing and proposed, don't meet, that the plans are claiming were waived in 2002 to some degree. They were part of a resolution in 2002, but they don't meet the current code.
so that was town board or planning board or both?
Your plan says that it was town board. My understanding is, if it was done today, it would be a planning board issue. I don't know if in 2002 the code was written differently and this was a special permit that was granted by the town board. But the plans say that it's a town board resolution. I don't know that
Okay.
it is. Maybe that's a typo and they meant planning board resolution. I don't know. That's just what's included in the bulk table on your plans.
Okay.
So there's the previously approved site plan and resolution. I think that's going to be a really important place to start. You also make reference to a lease agreement with the neighboring lot.
Yeah, that's in discussion, but it's not been established as of yet.
So that's proposed, that's not existing?
Oh, no, it's not existing.
Okay, so I think you'll want to take a look at 24080, I think it's 24088.8, no, wait. There's this, I'll find it in a second. There is a special permit specifically for parking inventory for auto dealers on off-site.
Okay.
There are a number of elements of that site plan, just on like a brief look that we took a look at in the pre-meeting. There are a number of elements of that I do not believe that you'll be able to comply with. And there's no provision in that special permit. There are certain provisions in the auto dealership special permit requirements that the planning board has the ability to waive. There are no provisions in the off-site parking provision, a special permit, that they are able to waive.
Okay.
So take a look at that.
Okay.
Because there are, it's 2-acre lot minimums, substantial setbacks and screening.
Right.
There's something about not storing used cars and only storing new cars. There's a number of items there.
Okay.
I think it's 24081.
81.8, yeah. Let me go back to the memo. That lease agreement, it doesn't exist yet. If you have...
But I don't think it would meet the requirements if
No.
you're saying it needs to be 2 acres minimum.
Without a number of variances, I don't think that you'd be able to, that would require an additional special permit that you would need to apply for, and I don't think that you'd be able to meet those requirements without a number of variances. You also make reference, under the wetlands section, you make reference to correspondence that you've initiated with DEC.
There was correspondence. We'll get that.
Yes, we'll need a copy of that, and we'll also need a complete, like we discussed with your first application this evening, a complete application under
Wetland.
137.7. So that brings us to the motor vehicle sales establishment, the requirements under the special permit. skipping over lot size, because that's part of this 2002 resolution and site plan. So you're restricted to 70 parking spaces on this site based on its size. And you're proposing 96. That includes a few on the neighboring lot under a lease agreement, which may or may not be possible. But I am also concerned that you're not, you haven't included a full parking table, but in your notes, you mentioned that you have 5 guest parking spaces, and you're required to have 10 of those, plus 2 spaces for every 3 employees. My concern is that the inventory spaces that you're able to fit on this site are looking at different dimensional requirements than active spaces required by code would use. So, put a parking table on there, identify where non-inventory spaces are located and what the dimensions of those are as opposed to the others. And then, I think it would be useful for the purposes of the board's consideration. They have the ability to waive the limit of 70 per acre. I think that it would be a good place to start submitting a narrative, requesting and justifying that waiver.
Okay.
Take a look at the special permit language, because the elements of the site and proposed screening are discussed in that waiver provision.
Okay.
And so you'll want to put together a narrative requesting that, detailing why, and detailing your justification for that waiver request. Same thing is true of the density of vehicles along the the site frontage. We got comments back from the county pointing this out as well. Your frontage, I think, is your front yard, which on this site, because you're sandwiched between 2 roads, frontage takes up a lot of the site, and a lot of your inventory is in that front yard, and you're limited to 1 space every 40 feet along that frontage. So take a look at that first row of cars.
Okay. So we're considering this is actually front yard, this is front yard, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the same way that a house would have that affect its building envelope if it was similarly positioned.
Understood.
So again, the planning board has the ability to waive that 40-foot rule, but there are, add that to your waiver request narrative.
Okay.
And your justification for it. Once we take a look at that and take a look at how many parking spaces, how many vehicles per acre this site can accommodate, whether that's capped at 70 or whether or not that's lower or higher based on your request or based on the frontage requirements. That may affect the geometry of the parking lot, and at that point, we'll have our traffic consultants review that and make sure that circulation is going to work.
Okay.
I have some notes, additional information that we need for landscaping. If you can provide a little bit more detailed information on the existing lighting.
Okay.
I have seeker notes. Can you clarify whether or not it's this evening or later? There were different descriptions of disturbance. I'm just looking for a little clarity on the square footage of the disturbance, because depending on where it's listed in your application materials, you're just above or just below the 4,000 square foot.
You're talking about proposed disturbance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll help me. I think it's an unlisted action, but I could be reading the numbers wrong, and you might be a type 2. There's the bat note. I don't think that you're proposing any tree clearing, but just be aware of that you're flagged for that. Barbara's been asking for loading zones. I mean, we talked about this with Volkswagen.
You're talking about for vehicles?
Yeah, where on site you're able to bring that truck in and unload and load. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that brings it to the end of my, I mean, there's things to look at and to work on in the meantime, but a big element of this is going to be that 2002, the previous approval, because without it, we're going to have to look at reaffirming those approvals, right? I mean, like, there's a lot of them. There's a number of them. Yeah.
Just text the Barbara, and we do have one in common.
Okay, so we'll be able to track that down. And that will be useful to the board, because I think that there should be rationale justification for those. I mean, there's a number of them in the bulk table and in the special permit provisions.
She said there's no lease agreement.
Yes, that is.
You said you did find it?
Yes, Barbara, I just texted her.
Oh, okay.
There's no lease agreement, but the original site plan is in Concord.
Yes, the lease agreement is proposed, correct? That's
Right,
not-
we're not, we don't have it as of yet.
Okay.
So it's in storage, this site plan, okay.
How many of those 96 spaces are would be part of from the lease agreement, or is that?
Well, there's a series of them here that aren't on the property. I think there's 12 that are off-site.
The 96 includes those?
Yes.
But you're proposing 7 spaces off-site, right?
Yeah, these are all, well.
Because that's being removed.
They're
They're there now, but what's being proposed is to remove some of that and to look to formalize a lease agreement for 7 of those spaces.
Correct.
So of the proposed 96 spaces, 7 are proposed to be off-site, which, if you removed, would bring it down to 89. So it would be 19 over the 70 permitted.
Right.
Right? No, wait, 18, yeah, 19.
So B, how do we go about getting, is that something the town looks for in storage?
Yeah, we have to go into storage.
Okay, so you'll contact us when you get it? Okay.
So I think we have a few things, I guess, to get cleared up. All right.
The applicant wants to chime in, do you have any?
Yeah, might as well.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm Ruth Sikowski. I'm Jacob Lavian, the owner's wife. We run the business together. And I just really want to express how dire this is to us. We started being told almost a year ago, move out cars, you're not abiding by the plans you have. There were no plans. Nobody's seen plans. We moved out cars. We did everything. We have hardly any cars on the lot, and we are very close to having to maybe go out of business. We can't operate like we've been operating. Every time we come, we think we're closer to getting a resolution. If you look at our lot, we have hardly any cars on it, because to be in compliance with what we're saying we have to be in compliance with, we can't run a business there. We've been there 26 years. We do so much for this community. You can ask anybody what we do for the disabled veterans, what we do for the homeless. We have done nothing but good for this community. And we're on the verge of not being able to do this anymore because of parking spots. There's plenty of room. There's that berm we're not allowed to park on. We're not allowed to park in the front. We did everything. I drive around, I see every other dealer parked on the grass, parked in their driveways. None of it. We don't do it. Once they started coming to us, we stopped. We thought, we're going to do this the right way. We're going to ask to have what we need and do it right. And this is what's happening. This is months of us having no cars there. And I'm serious when I tell you how dire it is right now. I think this business is a business you want in this neighborhood. We are good. We have no trouble. Some of you probably have been to our dealership. And it's very frustrating to come here every time and thinking, okay, we have a resolution, we can get back to business, you can get back to buying cars, to be told no, and then to find out you had the plans, and you knew that you had the plans, and nobody pulled the plans. How is it our responsibility? We gave everything we had, and there was no plans in our file. So I don't expect you to make a decision right now. We're sitting here and we're so frustrated, sad, and upset. And I just want you all to realize the seriousness of what's going on here with this business. After 26 years, we might not be here anymore because of parking spots.
Okay. No, I think we understand it's very important to you. But again, for us, it's a matter of having all the information. I can't account for why, we don't have that stuff in front of us today, but I think if, sounds like it's available, in storage off-site, so it's a matter of get somebody down there to pull that out and then get that circulated to everybody so we can take a look at it.
Almost 6 months ago, they told us they lost the plans. They didn't have them, almost 6 months ago.
We also have a violation that we don't know about.
Okay.
We don't know what the violations for. But it's true. It's really, we obeyed by we got really harassed. We were for months. Judith was coming bi-weekly to tell us. I asked my neighbors that park all over the grass, driveways, are you being told? Are you being told? Not a one told me. Not a one told me that being harassed and moved the cars. You can go up today, right now, and look, there's cars in the driveway, on the grass. From Acura, was Volkswagen, they moved to Nissan, to Toyota. I mean, I bet you Toyota has more cars than what they allow. I don't like to work like that. I don't. Just want to talk about my case, and it's really a problem. And you can look. I had cars. I can't buy cars. I can't put them anywhere. And I can't, Ruth is telling you the truth. I'm probably going to fall if we don't get solutions. You lost the stuff. They knew, Ms. Roberti knew about it. And she said it's in storage. Isn't it a duty to bring it?
Okay. I don't know. I think I believe this application is this is the first full time that this is, or it's the first time that this has been submitted as a full application.
But they knew it.
I believe, I know, and then we were here once for the conceptual, when we discussed things during the conceptual, and whether or not that was all brought up, that should have been pulled out of storage and then brought up at this point. Right. I agree with you 100% on that. But at this point, we're kind of at a standstill because we don't have that information. But being that it's been identified that is available on the town's end, I think that we're going to try to, we're definitely going to get that out of storage and then get that circulated to everybody that needs it so that we can move forward from here. Okay?
We lost our summer. Summer is our busiest time. We lost it. We had no cars.
I understand that. I understand that. But again, I don't know if it's been going on for so long, it's a matter of when the application was made, which was just recently, so.
I got a couple questions, so I understand the history a little bit more. First off, is there an open violation on this business now? Is it for, what is it for?
We never got it.
Do we have a record of it?
Okay.
Okay, I just want to know if the violation is in regards to what situations. How do we do a violation if we don't even know what the plan is? I'm just curious about that.
Well, and
Does it hold it against them to move forward until they get that violation cleared? Because didn't that happen in the past?
Yeah, but this is different because this one here, they're actually here to remove any of the violations.
Yeah, this is
So this is like, they haven't, it's violation, if anything, it's a violation of the site plan approval from 2002, because it sounds like,
How do we violate them for that if we don't even know where the plan is, though?
well, again, that's not, but we can ask for that from the zoning, or deputy zoning administrator. She would have to then provide us with that documentation as well. But I think it's a moot issue. I don't see any reason where, this application needs to stop. I think it just needs to, it needs to continue, because the only thing we'll be doing is helping to remedy the violation.
Okay, I agree. I mean, I don't want to lose a local business that's been here for 26 years, so,
No, I know.
parking spaces, so.
I just think it needs to be, I think we need to identify it. I think that's been the biggest concern tonight when we discussed it during a workshop, is we don't have the previous plan to compare to the current plan to identify everything that has actually changed. And then what they're proposing, the increase, basically, hopefully there's nothing written that, in the special permit that was issued. So if the special permit has any other restrictions in it, that gives us guidance of how to move forward as well. Okay.
Do we have any flexibility to offer some temporary relief of what their situation is until we actually find the plans?
Well, how many cars do you have in a lot now?
You have, I probably have
50, 55?
50. How many are they allowed on there right now?
I believe 70, right?
They have 1.1 acres, so they should have 70 cars, right?
Yeah.
72.
Yeah.
That's not what we kept being told, though. And I don't, our confusion is, if nobody had these plans, how were they telling us things?
Right.
She was coming, she was walking a line and saying, you can't park there, you can't park there, you can't park there, you can't. How did she know that?
So it's not a matter of, so basically 70 cars, if you put 70 cars in their spot, you're going to be on places that she's saying you can't park. Is that basically what's happening?
I got one question. You guys don't have the site plan?
We don't have the approved one either, or we would have given it.
I have a question. The plan that you've submitted in a couple of places makes reference to the special permit granted in 2002.
Yeah.
And that includes minimum landscaped open space, impervious surface, lot area, lot depth, frontage, and 53 total vehicles permitted per previous approvals.
Right.
Where'd all that information come from to be put on the plans if you don't have that?
Everything we gave their office, we had.
Brian has it, my
Yeah.
partner. I didn't prepare this.
Yeah. He has everything that we had, which showed what you're saying. And that's why we had to go down to 50, I thought it was 56, but cars. We had to get rid of cars.
Okay. But that isn't the most.
There was no stamp on it.
That's a more recent site plan than what's being referenced in 2002, or, I guess, I'm confused where this information's come from. So you've given a certain amount of information to your engineer.
Yep.
He's put this together.
So he had something
It's making reference to documents,
Right.
but we don't have those documents. You don't have those documents. Your engineer doesn't have those documents. We're looking for them in storage.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is where.
He must have something
Yeah.
that showed that, but maybe it wasn't the final approval, or.
That's my
I don't
question.
know.
So if that
I'm
showed
not an engineer.
53 spots, and maybe because you said there was exceptions, right? Maybe they got
Well-
a final approval said 70?
No, I think that 70 is the total per acre if you can fit it.
Gotcha.
So you have to
But there are other things that can reduce that down to 53, right?
So
Like,
they might have had 70, but they were only allowed to have 53, and that's why Judith was saying that.
or, I mean, the special permit says the maximum that you can have is 70, but then things like site topography, geometry, it gets relevant.
I understand that. Okay.
But
I
those
guess my
numbers also
question is that it's-
include
But here's
the
other
employee
thing. We had
parking
cars
and
on the lot, and nobody
right,
was
employee and
offended by them.
customer parking
We had-
out of the
Yeah.
70, and that's what's probably bringing you down to the 50.
Yeah.
Into
Well,
that 50-something range is because
This
you have to-
53 is listed under, I mean, they list all the requirements of Chapter 240-67.
Right,
And under the section that says you can't have more than 70 total,
yep.
they say, or the plan says 53 total vehicles permitted per previous approvals.
You know, and you have to realize, when Jacob went for this in 2002, he was a little guy. He wouldn't have even asked for more. If the guy said, yeah, 53, we can get in, we can get an easy approval, okay. Because, how many cars did you have?
And things, as we know, changed in 20-some years, as far as variety, competition, prices, everything changed. So, instead of a $30,000 car, I have to have 4 of $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 cars. That's how it works these days. It really, we're not doing anything purpose and to bother anybody. Just try to make a living, pay high taxes, and have people working. And
I think we understand it. It's just unfortunately, I think, tonight you just have to bear with us because of the fact that we don't have all the information in front of us to make any decision or make any movement on the plan.
It would be in their benefit if we found that plan instead of just going off of something new. So if you're just a little bit patient with us so we get this plan now that we've heard you, it's going to be better for you in the long run to
Right,
get
so if
that.
the plan says 53 spots, which is what I think we put here, right? Are we going through all this? Is there a realistic expectation that we could get 70 or 85, or are we doing all of this and you're going to say, well, we found the plan and it says 53 and
So the section of the code that we keep coming back to, it's a provision under auto car dealerships. One of them is minimum lot size. I think that there was an allowance for you to be 1 acre in size. The requirement is 3. One of the other requirements is 70 spaces per acre. The planning board has the ability to waive that, but that is incumbent on your ability to demonstrate the site's ability to accommodate additional inventory without increasing visual impact. And all of these things are described in the code, and unfortunately, anything that we do here sets,
precedent.
Yeah, then everybody comes back and says, well, wait a minute, they have 20%, and it's one thing when it's going from 70 cars on a lot to 90 cars on a lot, but that's a percentage, and then you go to a lot that's got 300 cars, and they
But
want...
would you think the 70 would be realistic?
I think if you can fit 70 cars on that lot...
We had 70 cars.
Yeah. Then we just need to approve it.
We're using the berm that we want to use. That was a whole other issue. We have that berm. We're in a dip. You can't see us from Route 9. How many people come and say, I never even knew you were here? What? Right? Okay. So if we would be able to be on the berm, visually you could see from Route 9. We're not even allowed to park.
Can you point where the berm is?
Can you show it? Sure.
So that's that bald rock spot that originally had planters proposed.
Yeah.
Is that the one that was blacktop?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you're saying that that's sort of like your most high visibility spot?
And we're not
That's
allowed to park on it. We had to move all our cars from it, so.
But you guys
now-
blacktopped that without a permit.
Did you blacktop that with that?
I didn't think I need
When you have a site plan and a commercial property, you
I had
have to
cars-
come up to the board, and that's one of the conflicts that a lot of people don't realize,
Yeah.
is that if you make a change to a commercial property, it's kind of like when we come back and look at it, you guys are doing stuff that you want to do without really asking the town about it, and that's where you've run into problems, why somebody's coming to you and saying that you guys can't be doing this stuff, and meanwhile, everybody else is getting away because you might be doing something a little bit worse than what they are, of blacktopping a whole area.
It's
and
not
then,
a huge area, it's a
Yeah.
small area.
but it's a commercial property. A special permit, you guys have to come up and get
And we weren't
permission
aware. He
to.
had
Yeah.
something-
5 years, or
Yeah.
maybe even 6 years, I had cars
Yeah.
there, it was dirt.
Right.
And then, not doing any malice, didn't think anything of it, because the dirt is dirt. I mean, things grow through it. So I said, when I blacktop a couple of pieces that were cracking on the lot, I said to the guy over the blacktop, what do you think? Not thinking anything that I need. I even asked him, do I need the permit for that? He said, no, not the blacktop. So I blacktopped it. As I blacktopped it, Barbara came in and said to me,
That tells a little bit more of the story of why you guys are
Well,
doing
is it?
I understand because
When it was dirt, we were allowed to park. Once we blacktopped it, we weren't allowed to park.
it sent up a red flag. And being in the
That's-
commercial
yeah.
industry, you guys, everybody's got to watch that. You can't You can't just change something. We give out special permits for a reason. And if it's not abide by, you're going to send up a red flag and people are going to come knocking.
Yeah.
And then when you guys go to change it, to do the right thing, to better the business, it's going to be a negative reflection on what you guys were doing past prior. So the special site plan should be like your Bible over at your business, and you abide by it until you're ready to upgrade it.
So this is one of the things where, like, sometimes I don't understand why Judith does the things she does, but she's actually really good at her job, and she notices these little things like the blacktop being the red flag, right? And so now hearing all this makes me understand more why all this happened and why you got the violation. And
Well, when Judith
so-
came, the cars were not parked up there, because when we blacktopped it and she told him, he stopped, he never parked there.
Yeah.
But
But I
it
can
sounds
see,
like
though,
from what you just said that it's not the cars being there that was the red flag, it was the blacktop.
Blacktop.
The blacktop was the change in the site plan.
They weren't just picking on you. My point is, they weren't just picking on you guys because you're a small business, because small business is very important in the town of Wappinger. But if, something
I
happened,
would love to show you the video I have, because I drove around the neighborhood and looked at every large car dealer,
I agree.
and they are all on the grass.
But you're not the only dealership in front of us, so
Yeah.
it is not pointed just at you. I can say this, that they're all having the same problem.
We got off the grass when she told us. They did not. They're all still on the grass to
and
this day.
that's why it's very important for us to follow the rules, because if we open up that door for you, it opens up even more
Everybody
to
will just
them.
be blacktopping wherever they want, just put
So
more
he
cars
hasn't-
on.
That's been blacktop for how many years?
Oh, it gotta be a good 8, 9 years.
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
haven't
and
we haven't been parking
I
up
didn't
there
park,
for all those years.
Once she told me, that was it. I was like, really? I said, I had cars there, Barbara, you know that. She said, yeah, but now you're blacked up that I can't. I really did not think that I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I had cars there.
But it sounds like the issue is not that there's cars there and now there aren't. The issue is that the site plan shows and the special permit approvals show that there wasn't blacktop there and now there
I wish
is.
somebody would have said to him, I wasn't in the picture then, go get a permit now. Because
All right.
all these years, we could have been parking up
Right.
there.
I'd just
So let's-
say,
all right, so-
based on everything that we've just said, can I say one thing to
Go
Mark?
ahead, just quick.
Mark, based on what you were just saying about the topography of the site, where is visible from the road, where is not, show that topography, that relief on the plans. If you can do anything with the information that you already have, looking at sight lines, and work that into your waiver request. Because it sounds like you might be able to, if you can fit 70 cars and you don't need a waiver to have more than 70 cars, all the better. And if you need to put together a good waiver request based on, because what might be really difficult to work around is the frontage, that issue of one car every 40 feet. But if you can make a strong case for visibility of the site, and that the frontage of the site should not be considered display, and that we're actually going to limit the number of spaces along the berm, which is visible, and that those are going to be the display spaces, and that's where we're going to reduce. So take a look at topography, visibility, sight lines.
So because that front is dipped, it's not the front.
Well,
Visually.
technically it is,
Right.
but I think that you could, if the topography information comes back to support it, and the sight line information that he puts together for you can support it, I think you could make an argument to this board that our frontage is not visible from the road, and that the frontage and display car provisions of this should actually apply over here along the berm that is visible. I can't speak for the board, but I think that that is a stronger argument than this site is undersized and we need extra cars along the frontage, even though it says we can't. I think that that's a harder sell than
And
talking about
the area
visibility.
that we had talked about, because I can't seem to get a straight answer on this from anybody, where we're trying to get the lease with that guy or buy that property up by
Right.
the service department.
Right, on the adjacent lot.
We've been parking there forever, since he's been on the
26
spot,
years.
26 years. They didn't care. They can't use it for anything. It's in, you can only get there through our driveway.
Right.
We're liable. Our customers are walking over there, not his. He's never said anything. And then the town fined him for us parking there. Okay, so that right? So what do we do if he says no?
Well, Malcolm brought up a good point. Off-site parking has minimum requirements.
Microphone.
I'm sorry.
Use the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So, that being said, you need a minimum, I think, 2 acres, and you're not going to make it. There's not enough land there. You wouldn't meet the off-site
To park there.
parking
So you're saying,
requirements.
even if we got a lease, we can't park there?
So if you got a lease, that would be considered off-site parking for a car dealership. That's that's a different special permit with a lot of requirements that sliver of land cannot accommodate.
And if we bought it?
And if you bought it and you made it part of this site,
Yeah.
it would make everything a whole lot easier.
Well, we tried to buy it from him, he doesn't return our phone calls.
Okay.
So would we have to merge the site?
Yes.
And how difficult is that?
It would be a part of this application. You'd be applying for a lot merger as a part of this special permit. It would make all your calculations
Because
a lot easier on you.
You've been given the advice, not from you guys, but from the town, to get a lease with him. And now, finding out that we've done nothing.
Well, I think, I think that if you weren't a car dealership, you were a different commercial use, and you wanted to park on an adjacent property, that would be good advice, and that would work, and you can move forward with that.
Even if it's customers for the service department and not our inventory?
Yeah.
Because that's what we park back there. That our customer spots are now taking up our inventory spot because...
But by customer spots, you're talking about cars that are waiting to be repaired?
Yes.
Yeah, that would count. Yeah.
So there's nobody's cars unless they just... Could we make customer parking down there, the person who's coming to look at the inventory?
Potentially.
That's all part of your 70 calculation is customer cars,
Yeah.
employee cars.
Yeah.
And cars.
I think if that was, you've got, I think you could make that argument, but a lot of this site, you're doing valet compact space parking because it's inventory. And if you put employee or customer parking in that area, it would need to meet the requirements of that parking, and you would need to have, full drive aisle with access to it in order to...
What that means.
It gets more difficult. You need more room.
Okay.
Yeah, it might end up costing you more room in your inventory spaces than it's
So
worth.
the goal is to buy that piece from him and merge it on this same application?
I think unless you can do that, it's not going to do much good for you under a lease agreement. I think that if you were a different commercial use and this was overflow parking and you had a lease agreement, it would work. But because you're an auto dealer and because it's being used as inventory, there's an additional special permit and there's additional special permit requirements. Again, all of that is drafted with an eye towards, a larger auto dealer having a large off-site overflow inventory, not this instance, but it does apply.
Right, okay. Anything else? All right, well, I really appreciate the time. I know we kept you here longer than you probably wanted to be here.
That's what we're here for. Yeah, that's what we're here for. All right, have a good evening. Okay. All right, so with that, we're to the end of the agenda for the evening. Is there anything else we want to discuss this evening?
I'll make that motion. No.
Okay. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion. Second.
Motion's made, seconded. All in favor? Aye.